Hello, everybody. This is the Chocolate News Podcast, and this week's podcast is sponsored by the Ohio Lottery. Keep it fun, Ohio. Play responsibly. I'm your co-host, John Alexander Reese.
And I'm your co-host, Andria Carter.
And if you did not know, the Cincinnati Herald has been around since 1955 and is the leading African-American owned newspaper in the greater Cincinnati area and northern Kentucky area. How's it going, Andrea?
It's going fine, John. It's I'm having a good week. Watching some great fashion. And just having a great week. It's just going well.
Yeah, just waiting for the weather to get a tad bit warmer, then I think I'll be a little happier.
What, you don't like that nice warm cool that's going on right now? It's not too hot, not too cold, like Goldilocks.
Yeah, my sinuses beg to differ on that. But
You know what? You're like the fifth person who has told me that today. Including myself. My sinuses have been wreaking havoc with me. Mine are not as bad as most people, but
right.
The post-nasal drip just drives me nuts. So I understand.
So Andrea, what's the chocolate news of the week?
Well, you know what? I'm going to start off on a highlight because it's been an exciting in the world of Hollywood and fashion. It really had some good moments this week. And I'm going to start off, I think it was announced today, the latest inductees for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So first, hats off. I want to applaud Missy Elliott for being inducted into the Rock and Roll Music Hall of Fame. I'm not my number one, it's Missy Elliott. Oh my gosh. And but joining her for the class of 2023 is Kate Bush, Sheryl Crow, George Michael, Willie Nelson, the Spinners, and then Rage Against the Machine. Now, as I was saying before, I can see everybody, but Kate Bush and the Rage Against the Machine, they don't have the same impact as everyone else who's mentioned on this list. But that's okay because they make good music. So it's going to be the big thing is it's going to be a wonderful concert when they do the induction. So I'm hoping that Missy Elliott does something new.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm wondering who they're going to get to. They usually another artist usually comes in, gives a speech before Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee comes in. So I'm wondering who's going to come before Missy Elliott. That should be interesting.
I think Queen Latifah should do it.
Yeah, Queen Latifah. They usually get newer artists though, so I'm just curious on who they're gonna get.
There's no one better than the Queen. Come
That's
on.
true. That's true, but they usually get I don't know. It could be Queen Latifah, but same again. It might be Lil Kim, or if they're going for female rapper, or it could be Cardi B for all we know. I don't know.
That's that you could get them, but I mean, in terms of the caliber of Missy Elliott, it's only Queen Latifah.
Yeah.
Because everyone else, I'm sorry, but it's everyone else. I mean, in terms of impact.
Right.
I mean, in Queen Latifah has diversified her musical tastes. I have 2 of her jazz albums that the girl can swing. I mean, and Missy Elliott has produced so many people.
Oh yes.
I mean, her ear and for talent and music and lyrics is just unbelievable. Again, I want to see the concert. So
it should be good.
It should be good. So I'm very happy about that. And then especially happy because I'm a huge George Michael fan. So the fact that even though it's posthumously, he's being inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, because even though he started with Wham, his solo career was awesome. And my favorite album of his is the one that he recorded High off of cocaine. Yes.
I did not know that.
Oh yes. He I remember an interview where he half remembered recording that album because he was high all the time, but he sang the best stuff off that album, which says a lot about cocaine. But anyway, but he not saying that you need to be a good musician by taking cocaine, but I'm just saying that from his creativity and what he sang about, this one album, I think it was the one where it was more of a introspective, I wish I had it in front of me. It's the one where all the people are on the front cover and it was black and white.
Right.
Um, I just can't remember the name of the album, but it's, overall, I'm the person who has the updated the redigitize everything on my phone, in my music calendar, because I mean it's just all his stuff is good, but that was my favorite. But anyway, so congratulations to everyone to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So we have the Hall of Fame. Then the other most famous event of the year outside of the award ceremonies is the Met Gala. Oh my God. I mean, the coverage of it, I was covering it. They don't do it live, or you see bits and pieces. And this year I was watching on the TikTok video, no, the Instagram videos. There was some TikTok, but Instagram videos by Essence Magazine. And they were capturing what everyone wore. There were some moments where like, what were you thinking? Like Janelle Monáe. I'm sorry. But I know she likes to push the envelope, but she pushed it too far because I didn't get it. But again, they were honoring Karl Lagerfeld. And Karl Lagerfeld was that type of guy that he was conservative in one way and then out there in the next. And he was best at merging them together.
Gotcha.
But I would just say the outstanding folks who I saw attend the Met Gala that I liked the most was Lizzo. For once, she didn't expose anything, but actually looked decent, and I loved the dress. It was fabulous. There was Keke Palmer. Believe it or not, Cardi B had a great dress on. It was interesting. A little push it, but it was interesting. Serena Williams, she had on a fabulous dress, and she also announced that she's pregnant with her second child.
That's great.
And her husband looked goofy, as he always does. But he's always the nerd who always looks like, oh my God, I can't believe I got the cool girl and I'm standing next to her look. He just has that permanent look.
Well, you know what? He's one of the co-founders of Reddit, so he's always cool in my book.
Well, no, he's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, he is so cool, and I love his business mind and the fact that, when he met his wife, she threw him some shade and he threw it right back at her. So even though he's a nerd, he's a shady nerd. And I mean, he could throw, I'm sure he could, and by now he's probably been schooled on how to play the dozens. So, I think he's cool. But anyway, some outstanding folks would be a number of men as well. You need to check it out because the men showed up and showed out as much as the women did. I mean, and then Rihanna, who ran an hour and a half late, was the last to arrive.
Fashionably late.
Oh, but I mean, what she arrived in, I understand why she was late. I'm wondering how she got that dress in the car, because it was this white, slightly poofy dress, jacket, what have you, with this long train, and then her partner, Rocky.
ASAP Rocky.
Thank you, ASAP Rocky. I just look at him and say Rocky because you just never know how you pronounce everybody's name. But he did this kind of like a take on a kilt, a Scottish kilt, and he wore jeans underneath. So basically, he pushed his envelope, but still remained macho in his fashion look, which I thought was pretty cool. And then there were a couple other guys who showed up and showed out, who just, they had trains, they had feathers. But they look good. Usher was outstanding. I mean, he looked good in his outfit. So, I recommend everyone check out whatever favorite fashion blog, magazine, article, app, what have you. Look at the photographs. You see some things you might want to get. There were some absurd things that I'm not even going to mention because I'm not going to waste my breath. But I think a lot of people showed out, and it's always fun to see who takes it to the next level.
Right.
And I just, Rihanna, she just, every year she puts on a show and she does it well. Even pregnant for the second time, she did it well. In fact, that's two people who are pregnant for the second time that appeared at the Met Gala, come to think of it. So well done. So Also, one little tidbit I should say that we're going to suffer a little bit as we end the TV season, but look forward to the summer season, both in broadcast on and streaming. After 16 years, the writers are on strike again in Hollywood.
Oh Lord.
You would think folks would have learned from 16 years ago, because I remember the last strike that lasted for what, a week or two
Oh
last
no,
time.
oh no. I think that last strike lasted like at least 3 months, probably even
Was
longer.
that a 3 month strike?
That was like 3 months, yes, because it cut in to some TV. So some TV shows had shorter seasons, some movies were affected by it. I remember like one notable example was the James Bond film Quantum of Solace. It's like Bond, Daniel Craig, he had to write dialogue by himself, and if you look at the final product, you can tell he's not a writer.
Hmm.
But yeah, that definitely affected Hollywood quite a bit. So I was not looking forward to another writer strike.
You would think the money people and the producers and the directors all would have learned from the last strike. You can't do anything without content.
Exactly.
And the basis of all the content, whether it's photographs, video, what have you, is writing, because you have to write that paragraph. You have to write that line. And I know everyone likes reality TV because you can ad lib and you don't have to pay a lot of people. But at the end of the day, you still have to write the script, or at least the
Yeah.
concept of what may happen, or at least what the host is going to say, and then he reacts to whatever everybody else says, because they're not scripted. They just go along with the flow. So,
Well, I am not a big fan of reality TV, and we got a lot of reality TV because of that strike. So, not looking forward to that.
oh, and it is, and a lot of reality TV is bad. I mean,
It's really bad. It's
it's
junk
bad.
food basically, and not the good kind of junk food.
No, it's not. I mean,
Uh,
my reality TV is, let's put it like this. My reality TV would be if the NBA fixed the uniforms and made the shorts shorter. That would be my reality TV, and I would be a happy camper.
I remember we went. I remember that conversation in the
Yes,
previous podcast.
we won't go through that conversation again. But as people say, Andrea, what are you thinking? I'm like, I'm not saying go back to the '70s short shorts. No, I don't want to embarrass them, even though it would look cute. But I mean, I'm just saying, cut some of that length off the pant leg. There's a reason why more women watch NFL than they watch basketball. Come on. You know, everyone's got moves. Everyone likes looking at the muscles and the tattoos, and see how the sweat hangs and everything else. But at the end of the day, if men want eye candy, so do the women. All I'm saying is make it equal. But anyway, I will move on from this, and people will get mad at me. But anyway, so
but real quick before we move on, as far as the strike goes, I think a big factor in the writer strike of 2023 is the emergence of AI, because
yes,
the chat GPT has come up and all that stuff, and some studio execs are saying maybe we should just get AI to start writing our scripts. And that just say, well, that kind of defeats the purpose. AI can't be creative. It's
nope,
like that's just stupid. And i
nope,
hope i hope that never like ever happens. It's AI, and then it's streaming too, because I guess studios thought there would be like so much money in streaming, but eventually there's a limit to how much money there is in streaming. But but studios are still making money. They just spend too much. I
yes,
just I just don't know why they spent so much on streaming. It's
I
crazy. But you know what? It's like if you're it's only fair to pay the writers their dues, because they create the material. Without shows like House of Cards, there would be no Netflix. Without shows like Mad Men, AMC wouldn't exist. They put those shows on the map. And
yes.
it's only fair that the writers get paid. And that's all I have to say about that.
No, I agree with you. I mean, it's only fair, and really and truly, I mean, the writers, it's even though we see like, okay, another sequel, another this, another that, but think about it, at the end of the day, there are the stuff that you see on the streaming platforms, no matter which platform you choose, the original stuff you probably would not see on regular broadcast TV.
Exactly.
And but there's a reason why I also watch Masterpiece Theater.
Yeah.
Because there's a certain caliber you want when you see these serials, or you see these, you get the sequels and everything else, because I'm not saying that British writers are better, but I'm just saying the quality of the writing, the quality of the conversation, well, I should say the quality of the dialogue is wonderful. And I think what you see on Netflix and Hulu and Apple TV, you're getting that same quality because the writers have pushed the envelope and have been given the freedom to create these characters that we like to embrace. In fact, I just saw an ad for is it Old Warriors 2 or the Guardians 2?
Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Can't
No,
wait to
no,
see
no,
that.
no, 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 not that one. The other
Mm.
one, the one with Charlize Theron, where she
Oh,
played
the old guard.
the old
Yeah.
guard.
Yeah.
It's going to come out this summer, sometime this summer. It's going to come out because they finished filming it last year, and I was like, there's been talk about doing a sequel for the longest time, and I'm like, when I saw the first one, I was like, oh my God, you need more. Why we need more, and so that type of quality. It's fun, it's action, a great leading character who's flawed, blah, blah, blah. You know, you can't get that with AI. You can't get that with a chat box. You can't get it with people ad-libbing. I mean, you can try and ad-lib, do a movie with ad-libbing, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, there's a reason why you have a writer to clean up what you're thinking.
Yeah.
There's a reason
Because
why there's speech writers. I mean, come
yeah.
on.
Yeah, because and just one quick thing, because I remember it was on Twitch. Chat GPT was trying to do they were doing like an episode of Seinfeld, and it was just all AI, and it was cool for a minute, but then it's like, this is really bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice experiment, but it's like, I'm sorry, it can't beat like human writers.
No, no, because AI can do an essay, can do all this type stuff, but the quality of a human writer brings in human emotions, brings in that little essence
Yeah.
that you can't get with a chat box. You can't get with something that's been programmed by a nerd who may not have a life but lives on, a laptop programming or coding or what
Yeah.
have you. So I just hope it's resolved soon,
Yeah, me too.
and that Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon
Yeah.
all will get back to work soon.
Yeah.
Because I know some of them won't cross the picket line, some will. But
Yeah.
at the same time, they're comedians. They know how to write this stuff. They can do.
Yeah.
They can pinch hit.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to see what happens. Because again, the writers need to be careful not to push the envelope as much. I mean, push it, get
Yeah.
paid.
Yeah.
And really, truly, they should be getting more of the royalties of what they're writing, because it's being
They
repeated over and over and over again. And I
they
don't think they
really
are.
should. But also the thing about that is because streaming is still the new frontier. With broadcast TV, you knew how much you were getting because there's ratings and stuff. So you knew how popular a show was and all that stuff. But with streaming, the companies, they don't have to release their numbers technically.
No.
So it's just like, we don't know how well a show's doing. So
All,
that's
all,
so that's a thing.
yeah. All I know is that when I see on Netflix the top rated shows, I see 1 through 10. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you know
Mm-hmm.
what? We don't see what's number one for all the different countries that have Netflix.
Exactly. So
I would like to, because I like foreign foreign television too, because
right.
they have the same type of drama as we do. Some of it's bad, but some of it's good. For example, on YouTube, there are these snippets of, believe it or not, a Chinese medical drama of a
Interesting.
woman. she's a young she's a young doctor who just came back from work learning, being educated in America. She went to Harvard, so it's like a big deal because everyone else went to school in China, and she came back to work in China and do all kinds of stuff in this emergency medicine. And so they have these 10-minute snippets someone's putting on YouTube and watching it, but it's actually a TV series watching all this. And I'm like, oh my God, this is good. I'm reading the subtitles.
Yeah.
So, I would like to see, actually I'd like to see one whole a series of the shows to
Yeah.
see what it's like. But anyway, so that being said, that's Hollywood. Now, I would say also Hollywood-esque, before I get into a little of the negativity of life. Did you watch the Correspondence dinner?
I did not. I saw some of the highlights, but I never usually watch the whole dinner though.
I forgot it was going to be on this past weekend, and so I saw highlights, and I started watching both President Biden's speech and Roy Wood Jr.'s speech. Oh my God, they were fantastic. I mean, Biden went after a little bit of everything, including himself. He even laughed about his own age and everything else. He
Okay.
went after Fox News.
Wow, really?
Yeah, in fact, Roy Wood Jr. he was on the Joy Reid show the other day, and he was talking about how he prepared to do it, and he said that he was while Biden was speaking, he was texting the teleprompter guy, take two jokes out because Biden already did them, and he couldn't do them. And he was like, okay, take that out, take this out. So, he said Biden held his own. It was really good. So I was
Okay.
like, oh, okay, that they got the groove on. And again, Biden is the first president to appear at the Correspondence dinner since Trump.
Okay.
And so, which is something good.
Yeah.
And I think I recommend everyone to take a look at what Biden said and how he laughed at himself. Then he got serious. But one good thing is that Biden called out the Black press for holding everybody's feet to the fire. He called us heroes for being part of the Black press, for willing to cover the things that people are not willing to cover or hide or shy away from. That we put everybody on Front Street and remind them why we have America, why we're fighting for freedom, why we have free speech and all other rights. And I think that was the highlight of what the best part that came out of the Correspondence dinner was the fact that he recognized the Black press and how much hard work we're doing to keep, not only keep the Black press alive, but what we're covering. So that was the best thing that came out of that. Then, we had a couple of negative things happen here around the region. About, well, first off, in Atlanta today, I believe they're still looking for the manhunt
Yeah.
for the man who shot women in Atlanta. They're searching for a guy who went into a medical office in Midtown Atlanta on Wednesday. I believe it was on Peachtree Avenue or Street. And he went into a waiting room and killed one woman, and four others were wounded. And now he's on the run. He went after women. I don't know why. They're still wondering why. He also carjacked a driver and fled the area in that car, I believe. So they're still looking for him. And I believe he is a Black guy, I believe, which is sad.
Yes. Very sad.
It's very sad, but at the same time, crazy is not in just one culture. So that being said, but at the same time, the police have made an arrest in the days-long manhunt in Texas, where that gentleman shot people and believe it or not, Cleveland, Texas. Number one, I didn't know there was Cleveland, Texas.
Exactly.
But he that left 5 dead, including a young child, and he was taken into custody. It was about in an area 45 miles north of Houston, and his name is Francisco I think Operosa. I know I'm butchering his last name. But he's wanted for shooting five of his neighbors. They were upset because he was shooting his firearm on his property late at night, disturbing the peace. And he got upset that everyone was complaining about what he was doing, and he decided to let them know how he felt, which is a
Just
shame.
really, really sad. Just imagine, just like you can't even like just go to your neighbor and just like tell him, hey, can you please just stop shooting your gun late at night? We're trying to sleep. Just I
It's
just don't
like,
get it, man.
I don't get it either. Like, there was a guy who was a meteorologist down south who was upset because a 7-year-old rang his doorbell looking for a lost kitten. And he was like, he was getting ready to, his gun was locked and loaded and he was about to shoot the kid. And I was like, she rang the doorbell asking a question of a neighbor. Why do you want to shoot a kid? Why are you
Mm,
threatening to say that it's dangerous for anyone to ring your doorbell? How is anyone to know that you're at the door unless you ring the doorbell? You
mm.
know, I think America has lost their innocence. And I think people are so, I don't know what's the word.
They lost their damn mind. That's what it is.
Okay, well, we'll go with that. They lost their damn mind. It's we're such a gun culture, but we don't have to be that type of gun culture. I mean, I understand it with the young kids or the young guys who were strapped walking the neighborhoods because of the street soldiers. They feel that they need to protect themselves because everyone's out to get them and they're fearful, and even though they want to live in a safe space, they have to protect themselves, whether it's they have something on them or they know where all the community guns are, and go from there. But and then again, for those who don't have a community gun, but they have guns in their homes or they hunt for sport. I mean, there comes to a point where you need to stop and pay attention. And not everyone is after everybody. When do we become so fearful? When do we become so suspicious of everybody, including our children? I think the fact that we've not resolved and stopped the mass shootings, that we have done a disservice to our country and what it says that, you can go ahead and do this because no one has suffered a mass embarrassment. I mean, people have gotten life in jail or life in prison, but no one's been executed. No one has done, whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to say about that. So, but unfortunately, they got this guy. Hopefully they'll get the guy in Atlanta soon and we'll be able to take care of, be able to say, yes, he got caught. In Cincinnati, the other night, I guess it was last night, a gentleman was shot, and they was shot outside the Taco Bell in Corryville, right off of Highland Avenue, which is a nice, very nice Taco Bell that I like. And it seems that the suspect in that shooting is a guy who's been convicted 4 times already.
Mm,
And well, he's done.
yeah.
But it's kind of sad that he this guy got shot. Normally it's a safe area, but this was early in the morning, and I don't know what happened, but that area has seen hints of violence here and there, but it's always been a safe area. But it's kind of sad that this is the extreme of what can happen when you have someone who's been out and continues to commit crime after crime after crime, and they do something extreme. So not everyone who has gone to jail is like this, and I'm not going to put that blanket on them, because there are a lot of, as they call them, returning citizens who want a better way of life. And we have enough organizations out here who are helping them to work for a better life. But then there are guys like this who just continue to do bad and make it worse for everybody. So we need to do better. We really do. Because I can't keep up with all the shootings either. So, but finally, I have not been to the Monkey Bar and Grill that suffered damage in a fire. Have you been there, John?
I've been there like once. And I gotta say, I like the place. It was nice because, when I'm not podcasting, I am working at Kings Island. Uh, and I went there once, and it was a nice place. It really was.
It,
And it was a real popular place too.
man. Because see, I mean, I always have a hard time getting to all the places that everybody says that you should go try this and go try that. Especially out in Hamilton Township, they always have some good restaurants out that way. And you want to try and get to everything.
Yeah.
And I just feel bad that they suffered fire damage. I hope they come back and they come back soon. It's a family-owned restaurant, which is always good to support, but I just hope that they recover fast. And it was a kitchen fire, so that's always dicey because it's a kitchen fire. But hopefully, they didn't suffer as much damage. They said significant damage, but hopefully it's not something that the kitchen was a total loss, because
Well,
that's
they did say they updated the article and they said the fire cost about $200,000 worth of damage. So that's pretty significant.
that is significant.
Yeah,
Oh
and
man.
no sprinklers in the kitchen either. So it's just like,
Oh, that's not
yeah,
good.
no. And what really hurts is that, they recently put in some new equipment and that stuff like pizza ovens and expensive fryers and all that stuff. They're putting top of the line stuff in there. So, it's really heartbreaking, when you hear that. But it's
Oh
also good that there weren't any customers in the business at the
yeah.
time. So that's the most important part. But it's still heartbreaking when you see all your blood, sweat, and tears just go up in flames.
I wonder what caused the fire in the first place. Because sometimes when you think of the kitchen fire, you think of grease, the buildup of
Yeah,
grease and stuff like that. Or, if they put in new equipment, maybe it overloaded the circuit or was too much, or, you think of the usual stuff, but you just never know. It could have been a freak thing. It just,
yeah,
it could
could.
have been anything. So,
Yeah. But the good news is they said they're gonna open their patio bar in a few weeks, once they do all the inspections and everything. And they do have food trucks that they offer during the summer, which I didn't know. But
oh,
yeah, but yeah, like I said,
so
they're oh, go ahead.
no, I was going to say, so they're going to continue. So,
Yeah, uh-huh. So at least the patio bar will be open. The kitchen won't be open, but the patio bar will be
oh,
open though.
they're
So
probably going to be operating from the food truck for a minute.
yeah, uh-huh. So it's not, at least there's a silver lining to all this.
Well, I mean, it's a way that they can still keep income coming in while
Yeah.
they fix the brick and mortar. So, I mean,
Yeah.
that's good. That's good on them. That's going to put a little strain on them for a
Yeah.
minute. But you know what? There's another kind of like bar-esque restaurant in the city of Cincinnati that has a food truck as part of their business, and
Yeah.
everyone just buys from the food truck, so
Hmm.
in the bar. So I think they'll be able to work that concept for the summer season, and then by the time, hopefully by the time fall hits, they'll be able to move back into brick and mortar, or at least fine tune some things of where they can at least have people inside and offer something.
Right.
So we'll have to see what happens. And
Yeah.
I just hope that they continue, and wish them good luck. And I'll have to go out there when they open up the bar and support them.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah, most definitely. I will definitely try to get out there too, especially since I'm working at Kings Island again. I'll try to head over there
that's
after work.
that's right. You're back out there at Kings Island. So I would just say, everyone, take your time and go out, try new food, push the envelope, and support those who have unfortunate things happen to them and need your support.
Yep.
So, and that is all the chocolate news for today.
All right. Well, thanks, Andrea. Always appreciate that good chocolate news.
Thank you.
And once again, folks, this week's podcast is sponsored by the Ohio Lottery. Keep it fun, Ohio. Play responsibly. And you can find more information about today's topics and past podcast episodes at www.thecincinnatiherald.com, the SES newsletter, or on our social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And make sure to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast app. Our podcast is on Apple, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, Amazon, YouTube, and Google Podcasts. In addition, the Cincinnati Herald is now looking for news distribution and delivery agents. please contact our publisher, Walter White, at 513-680-7076 for more information. I'm John Alexander Reese,
And I'm Andrea Carter.
and have a good day.